Year 10 Geometry Exam Practice Question 5. In the figure below, triangle OAB has an area of 72 and triangle ODC has an area of 288. Find X and Y. So this question is expecting you to use your understanding of circles, and lots of your trig and quadratic understanding. So first thing I think about is I want to look at the equation that gives me the relationship between OBD and OAC. And that relationship, the proportional relationship, is shown through the equation that we have of OB times CO is equal to AO times DO. So that's our relationship. Now to start off, I'm just going to put that information into an equation. So that gives me OB is 16 times CO, and CO we know is X plus 16. And that is going to be equal to AO, which is 18. And I'm timesing that with 18 plus Y, which is my DO. So the next thing I want to look at is my understanding of one of these triangles. I'll be looking at both of them. So I'm going to look at my area of OBA. Now we can do that in terms of using our understanding of trig with finding the area of a triangle. So I've already changed my equation to suit these algebraic letter angles. So to start off, the formula is half A, B, sine, O for my angle, and we know our area is equal to 72. So I'm just going to put my information into the equation. So I know I've got half, and then A is 16. So it's half times 16. And then I've got times B, which is 18. Sine O equals 72. I know half of 16 times 185 is equal to 144, and then I have my sine O is equal to 72. Now to get O by itself, I need to before I get O by itself, the first thing I need to do is divide both sides by 144. That gives me sine O is equal to 722 divided by 144 is equal to 0.5. The next step is to do the inverse of sine to get my angle by itself. And the inverse of sine 0.5, that gives me the angle for my O, which it equals 30 degrees. So I know my angle is 30 degrees now. That's the first step. The second step is I'm going to now use my equation for the big triangle. That means I'm looking at A, so from C, D to O. So again, my equation is going to be half. This time it is CD sine O. Okay, so now we've done that, that helps us out. So we'll go through this slowly, but at the moment I do know this is equal to 288. So I'm just going to put my information into my equation. So I know I've got half times c. Now this is where it gets more algebraic. So I've got 18 plus y, and then I've got my d, and my d is 16 plus x. And that is sine 0, but no, it's 30 degrees. And that is equal to 288. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by a half. And I'm dividing by a half to get rid of that half out front. So that leaves me with 18 plus y, 16 plus x in brackets, sine 30 degrees is equal to 288 divided by a half is 576. The next step I would have done is divided both sides by sine 30. That would have given me 18 plus y, 16 plus x is equal to 576 divided by sine 30, and we know sine 30 is 0.5, which means it is 1152. The next step is I want to get 16 plus x by itself, so I divide it by 18 plus y. So that leaves me with 16 plus x, and I am equal to 1152, but I have divided both sides by 18 plus y. So I've got 18 plus y here. Now, that's the first part. Now, we've got two equations. So I'm just going to delete my working out. So I've got space. Now, so this is where now we've got two, we need to use our understanding of simultaneous equations. So I know 16 plus x is equal to this, and I've got 16 plus x in here. So I'm going to substitute that out, which means instead of having 16 plus x, I am going to delete that and exchange it for what it is worth. Now I am able to solve it, and I've got one equation, and I've only got one algebraic letter. So let's continue solving this. So the first thing I would do here is I would times 16 by the numerator. So 16 times 1152 is 18,432, and that is over 18 plus y. I would also simplify my right hand side and go 18 times 18 is 324, and 18 times y is 18y. The next thing that we need to do is we need to get the y's over to one side, so I times both sides by 18y. That leaves me with 1,840, so 18,432 is equal to 324 plus 18y in brackets, and we are going to be timesing it by 18 plus y. The next thing you need to do is expand your brackets. So if we expand our brackets, we would have got, I'll just write here, 18,432. if we expand our brackets, you should get 18 y squared plus 648y plus 5,832. I want it to be a quadratic, which in quadratic form, which means I need to get 0 on my left-hand side. So I take 18,432 away from both sides, leaving me 0 on this side, and on my right-hand side, that turns into negative 12,600. So negative 12,600. So we're finally getting there slowly. Now let's continue, just making some space. So now I've done this, I then need to use the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is negative b. My b is 648. Plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 419,905. Minus 4ac, which equals to positive 907,200 over 2a, which equals 36. If I square root that, that leaves me with negative 648 plus or minus, but we can only have plus because we need a positive answer, 1,152 over 36. This gives me a y answer of 14. Now I have a y answer of 14, so I've got one of my answers. The next thing I need to do is go back to that original equation that I had of 16 times x plus 16 is equal to 18 times 18 plus y. So I just need to substitute the value of 14 into y, and then that will help me work out my x value. So I'm going to keep my left-hand side exactly the same for now, and I'll look at my right-hand side. 18 plus 14, and then times it by 18, gives me 576. I then divide both sides by 16, and that gets me to x plus 16 is equal to 36. Then I need to take away 16 from both sides, and that gives me x to be the value of 20. So that's where we get our x value, and that's where we get our y value. So the main thing that you needed to realize is really understand the proportional value when we've got two segments going through our circle. You need it to be able to do the trig area, and you also need it to understand quadratics.